See?
Better hope that didn't get caught on that one. Please, Nation, what's good? It's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. We got the squad in the building. Mr. P Kid in the building. We got Ringo J in the back, the man formerly known as Stefan Don, and of course, the super producer Joel Holt.
Yo.
What's going on, boys? How y'all feeling today, man? We got a lot to get into on this episode. Biggest takeaways from training camp. And my God, not only do we got football tonight, but preseason is coming around the corner.
We got football tonight?
Bears' first game is next Saturday. Hall of Fame game is tonight, my boy.
Oh, I'm just saying, like,
I mean, we don't got football.
No, I'm saying we watching that
joint. No, we're not. Nobody's watching the Hall of Fame. Nah, I ain't gonna lie to you. This is how thirsty we all are for football. Like, we gonna watch it knowing it's Kellen Mond versus Zach Wilson.
Hey, Kellen Mond might actually do something.
He not. Anyway, so like I was saying,
that's on me. That's on me.
Hey, we're going to get into our biggest takeaways from training camp to this point. We've gone through a lot. We got our positives and our negatives. What are our biggest pros and cons coming out of the first couple of weeks of camp and heading into our first week of preseason? All that and more in today's episode. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the page, man. We do talk Chicago sports daily on this channel. It's the only channel talking Chicago sports, how Chicago talk. So make sure that you get in tune with us, man.
Facts.
How y'all boys feeling today, man? What's going on with y'all, man?
PK look like the baby father.
The baby father is crazy, bro. That's crazy.
Hey, Steve, I got you tomorrow on the live.
That's crazy.
That's
it's crazy.
That's crazy.
That's wild.
That's a wild take, bro. Hey, let's just jump into the show off of that. It don't matter how y'all feeling. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. That's insane activity.
All right, so biggest takeaways from the training camp, man. You in the building. Let us see. I want to get your opinion first. Actually, I'm gonna get your opinion last because you got the cheat code over there. Joe,
it helps.
What?
Biggest takeaway for you from training camp so far?
I'm gonna just say from what why are you asking me? Pat's there. I don't know. I mean,
I'm trying to quarterback this right now, right?
The point is hopefully they're not injured, except now we got Tevin Jenkins hurt. The biggest thing is, like, I guess now this is about depth. All the moves that they made, like, we need the starters to do well. But now if Jenkins goes down, like, are we in threat that this offense that everybody's like the national, media is like giving us so much love? I mean, I've never seen so much like hype from the Bears in all the life I've been watching them, at least in the last 15 years. So, like, the national media is on them. They're expecting them to do well. So let's just see that they hopefully can look good. I've been hearing up and down stuff, right? One day they're good, but this is expected. Offense has to figure out get all the kinks out. The defense is always ahead of the game.
Yeah.
Do we want Stefan's? He's still a Giants fan.
You call him a Steelers fan? That's crazy.
He's a Steelers fan.
That's mad disrespectful. I mean, we can get Steph's take on it. We can get Steph's take on it.
I mean, all right, here we go. Don't mention Daniel Jones.
And real quick, I just want to point out the fact that you was getting on me about leaving the shades in the car, but this man got them on. hey, I ain't gonna say too much. We're gonna let that lay right there. But I think for me, I think my biggest pro is the fact that Justin is taking more control of the offense. He looks more assertive. I know the other day he was talking about the defense. Basically one practice, and he needed to see his guys more energetic. So I feel like he's definitely taking control this entire training camp, and we're gonna see that get better. I like the connection that he's got with DJ Moore, and I've talked ad nauseum about Tyler Scott, just the fit I think he's going to be within this offense, and he'll be ready to step up if something does happen. I think my biggest con, honestly, is the fact that Nate Jones and Tevin Jenkins,
that's a big one,
have absolutely
that's a big
just
one.
Not like Nate Jones. You said it the other day. Nate Jones has not been here. Tevin just left. Do we have word on what happened to Tevin still? Or?
We still, I mean, basically, I think what we're thinking is something hamstring, something like that, which could be something nagging. I don't think it's major. I watched Tevin walk off.
Okay.
And he looked fine to me. He looked like he was, he wasn't grimacing, wasn't in any pain. But the main thing is, right, they're not going to tell you anything unless it's like this guy, like, tore his oblique, and so he's going to miss 6 weeks of it.
So you said, he walked off.
He walked off under his own power. Like, nobody thought, right, it looked like Tevin left to go to the bathroom.
Okay.
And then he just didn't come back.
So where did the narrative of him having some type of injury come from?
That he didn't come back. He left kind of, I want to say, he left after the 11-on-11, so probably middle of practice and just never came back. So, I mean, is
it possible that he's not injured then?
No, it's probably an injury. He'd have came back to practice if
Paul
he had to,
Pierce?
like, less he was pulling up. Right, he pulled a Paul Pierce, right?
His injury history has been what, his neck?
His injury history's been his back. He's been working on that.
Back.
He talked about working on that at camp as well. About basically, doing a lot of Pilates, working on small muscles in his lower back that help engage his core and that he didn't even know were there. That is the weird thing about, like, when you start working out muscles that are the muscles under the muscles, all of a sudden you just feel them. But yeah, like bro, like muscles you never thought was there. You ever like do something you ain't done in a long time, and all of a sudden you be like, why is that
sore?
muscle at?
Yeah.
What's sore on me?
Yeah.
Like, so I think that Tevin's going to be fine. I'm not overly concerned about I told y'all my biggest concern right now with this Bears offensive line is Braxton Jones. I put the clip out today, and we talked about that on the show yesterday. My biggest concern. Well, here's the thing. It always was my concern. Is it? Well, here's the thing.
Looking good.
Here's the thing. I wanted Broderick Jones because he's a bona fide left tackle. But I'm also okay with Darnell Wright. The thing about Tevin is Tevin's going to be serviceable at that position, and you can't fix all the holes this season.
Mm-hmm.
And so you had to go in and fix, what you can. Now, with that being said, I'm not saying give up on Tevin Jenkins. I'm just saying that there's a little bit of concern for me when it comes to how he's going to be able to go out and all of a sudden in 4 weeks, right, change the person that he's been his entire career up to this point, and he's still struggling with the same concepts that he was struggling with last season. There's a lot of as a pro though, the growth in this offense, and this is what I want people to understand. When you're seeing the offense struggle right now, you're seeing the offense struggle because they're putting in the deeper concepts. They're putting in the things that we want to see Justin Fields be able to master. They're putting in, okay, you got the simple things. Now here's the next level. Now here's how you get to this point. Here's why you. And so for me, I feel good about where this Bears team is at heading into the season. Offensively, I think that there's going to be some growing pains during the preseason because they're going to try some different concepts. Defensively, though, as nervous as I was for this defense coming into the season because they still don't have a ton of pressure on the edge. They've got a ton of pressure up the middle. Don't be surprised if we're talking about this Bears team as a probably not top 10, but maybe a top 15 defense. I think Tremaine Edmonds is that good of a middle linebacker. He's going to destroy the windows that are available.
Looking at some of the comments in the chat, Baki, which I agree with. So my take is we're getting more actual balance in training camp, which is actually a testament to what you just said. How many years have we had only one side of the ball, mainly defense, playing well? So it's a true testament of what you just mentioned. I actually echo those sentiments as well. And I'm actually just, for me, my biggest thing as soon as I heard Tevin going down was, all right, are we going to have line issues? Is this the time for that?
I don't know if we're to the point where we have line. Here's the one thing that is good, right? Nate Davis hasn't been there at all. Lucas Patrick steps in at right guard and is good at it. He's a good guard.
He was supposed to be
He was supposed to be our center, and and in those 2 plays that he played center during the Boston, he looked pretty good. But Tevin Jenkins goes down yesterday. Alex Leatherwood steps in. The offense was struggling, but does an okay job kind of at that left guard position.
There's a reason he was cut. So,
I mean, he's got to find his. I don't know what you want to know what Leatherwood is to me. Leatherwood is a victim of circumstance. Leatherwood probably needed to develop a ton, but he was on that Alabama offensive line, and so when you got literally just great player standing around you,
he didn't have to develop.
You didn't have to do a whole.
You don't have to do that.
Yeah.
Much. You know what I mean? He looked like a stud out there. I'm not saying he didn't. He absolutely was a stud in college, but it's a lot easier to be a stud when you have stud help. Going into the Oakland Raiders, you got to be the stud.
Yeah.
Now here, I think there might be a little more opportunity for him to grow, a little more opportunity for him to develop. He's coming in a backup role. He's not going to get a crazy amount of run right now. So I'm okay with Leatherwood stepping in those moments. the depth of this offensive line has been put on display already, and I think that's something you're going to need because I just don't believe that Tevin Jenkins is going to be a guy that's going to stay healthy for 17 games in a season.
Really?
I mean, we haven't seen it.
We haven't seen it.
I'm just going off of what. And here's the thing that I said too, right? Like when you get big guy, when we drafted him, he had the back when we drafted him, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I think
He didn't play
He
his
had
first
back surgery when we drafted him.
Yeah.
Literally, I
don't
think it
remember.
was like
No.
I think it was like 3 days after.
Yeah, no, he didn't.
No, he didn't come with those. He got it after the fact.
No, I think
He came
I think
with-
No, you know
his
why?
senior
Because-
year or his last year
he
in
had-
college.
Yes, he had issues in college.
Yeah.
By the time he got drafted, he did not have.
But he had a surgery already, is what I'm saying.
Right, he was already done, but it's not like Chris Williams or someone where that guy got.
Well,
He
Chris
was-
Williams.
he was
Chris Williams
already-
showed up with a broken back.
Exactly. So
No, legit. Like they
would
was.
have been saying that
Yeah.
when we drafted the dude.
He really did. It's not even a joke. Like, he really showed up with
No.
a broken back. Like the Bears drafted him with a broken back.
What year was this? Y'all lying.
2007.
No, the point was
Who drafted this?
Yeah, the point,
Jerry Angelo.
What I'm saying is, if they had drafted Jenkins and he was hurt, that would have been another.
No, I think
They
they.
would've been
Well, they
saying
drafted him with an injury history, is what I'm
He
saying.
had a straight, and then he
was
got
done.
injured in
Yeah,
what's
but
the
here's
name?
the thing, Joe. This is what I'm saying is when guys are that big, you're never done as soon as you lose your back. How many offensive linemen have we had in here who we thought were great, and then all of a sudden the back went out, and that was the end of their career? Kyle Long, you're getting in too many you're getting in too many car crashes on every play
Right.
for you to have injuries. The second you have something that's nagging, Kyle Long's shoulder never was right again because Smuds were always running into it.
What I was saying was, if he had came drafted like that, that would have been the headline when we drafted Tevin Jenkins. That was not the headline.
It
was
wasn't.
just-
No.
It was that we got a good pick. Hopefully he works out. He's a mean, nasty, tough guy. Yada yada yada.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
No.
I
agree.
vividly remember that being one of the things that we knocked pace for.
I think it was after the fact because once he got into training camp, he wasn't there because of his back. And then,
And then
we
he didn't
were
play
like,
and he had to get surgery.
He got hurt.
he got hurt in minicamp. And then we were like, hey, what the heck's
He
going on?
didn't hit the field for like the first 11 games,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Then it was like, did we get another?
Yeah, we get another Chris Williams. Yeah. But but either way, right? Like I think that there's always going to be something nagging him. I don't think that he can't have a career. I think that he'll be a guy who, he'll just have a couple of weeks where he can't get out there, and it's less scary when that's your left guard.
Okay.
When he's your left tackle, when he's your right tackle, those are things that are scary.
But you know what, guys? Dude, this is all about getting into shape. He's working muscles that he, like you said earlier.
Yeah.
All these guys.
He's
are
never
getting-
worked these muscles.
Are literally getting back in shape, playing. So this is all just that comes with the game.
Yeah.
So hopefully he's in game shape in a few weeks. So I wouldn't, like you said, he walked off. He wasn't nagging, right? It wasn't like he was holding something.
No, we didn't know.
He probably overextended himself.
He wasn't favoring anything. I talked with Courtney Cronin about this on the Chicago Bears podcast today.
Shout out to Courtney.
He didn't know. Like we all looked at him as he walked away and were just like, "Oh, there goes Tevin."
What
And
happened?
I thought he was going to the bathroom for real because he walked away just fine.
Mhm.
So
I think
I don't know, man. Like it's one of those things to me where I don't have my concerns with the offensive line or with the play of the offensive line. My concerns right now are Braxton Jones and how he's going to be able to all of a sudden improve with his hand placement because he says he knows, what the issue is, and so he's got to get the hand placement right. And Nate Davis. Nate Davis is my biggest concern, like Ringo said, because Nate Davis didn't show up to OTAs. Remember, everybody was like, oh, it doesn't matter. These are voluntary. It's not an important thing. Nate Davis has zero time with these guys. He's got a little bit of time in minicamp, and he was there for what, a couple of days of the first week of training camp. He doesn't have time with his offensive line, and he's got a rookie right tackle standing next to him. That's a lot to come into in your first season here in Chicago in this system. I know he's going to be able to come in and play the position, but there is going to be a little bit of that, you know what I'm saying? Like that, you got to figure out what the guys next to you are doing. You can't just pop yourself into an offensive line and all of a sudden you're going to be mad cohesive. We talked about that last season with the Bengals offensive line and how it took them, 6 weeks before they looked like, hey, we don't keep Joe Burrow off.
Oh, yeah. It's funny that you mentioned this. We're talking about the line right now. Bears Wire, USA Today. You mind if I read this quote?
Go ahead.
So the biggest issue has been injuries. Right guard Nate Davis has been out for the last 3 practices with an undisclosed injury. Tevin Jenkins exited Wednesday with some sort of ailment. Wright, Braxton Jones have stayed healthy but had their ups and downs. And Cody White here is back to rolling footballs on the ground when snapping.
It was one. It was one. Like that's the part that kills me, right? Like when a lot of times when this is why it's so different when you're there versus on the media side versus being in the stands. And this is not me like flexing or nothing like that. This is not me trying to, flex my media pass or whatever. But like I saw they shared up my tweet about Velus to the Reddit side, and all these people that were sitting there were like, no punches were thrown with Velus. Like, this guy has no idea what he's talking about. And you can't see it. I'm sitting there watching Velus Jones 20 feet away, seeing him throw a 2-piece on there looking like Bud Crawford. You know what I mean? And it was nothing. I wasn't saying that it was crazy. I was just letting people know what happened. But everybody on Reddit is, this guy don't know what he's talking about. It's like, y'all are sitting a mile away, and you're on the opposite side of the scrum.
So ultimately, how did Velus look this camp?
Velus has had a great camp. I actually have that as one of my positives. Velus Jones, we all remember, right? Cut him. We remember. He's 40. Cut him. He's 40.
Cut him.
He's 40. Cut him. We remember.
Pat was so loud during that segment. Y'all don't realize the walls vibrate.
I was so mad.
He echoed so much. He shook the house.
It's one of the greatest gifts we've ever gotten out of this show, though. Me and kids in a full suit for some reason. Why were you in a suit?
I just came from the meeting.
Oh, okay. I didn't know what was going on there. Kids in a full suit. Hey, bro. And so we sitting there watching. We both just go, oh my God. And kid gets
I just walk off.
It's one of the best gifts ever. But no, Velus to me is a positive. He's one of my big takeaways because Velus Jones has looked like he looks like he's going to have the role of a gadget guy, but there's no point in having a gadget guy that every time you come on the field, I know you're a gadget guy. I've watched Velus Jones go out and run routes, be able to come down with the football. I've watched him be able to play in the slot. I've watched him be able to go deep. I've watched him come down with tough catches. I've watched him come down with catches that should be out of reach. I am congratulating Velus Jones on the improvement that he's made from one season to another. And Luke Getsy said it best. We talked to Luke Getsy in the post-game presser, and the biggest thing that he took away, the biggest thing that he said was he knows where to be. And I think that's you don't think about how important that is. That's why you didn't see Chase Claypool out there dominating. That's why you don't see, right? That's why Tyler Scott looks so good in camp right now. Tyler Scott, when Luke Getsy was, or when Matt Eberflus was talking about what Tyler Scott can do on the question I asked him. Yeah, I mean,
shout out to my boy right there. Yeah.
I'm in the room. I want to be in the room where it happens.
Hey,
no Hamilton fans? Anybody? Hamilton?
We're Hamilton fans.
All right, cool.
I didn't expect you to go there today, but
create culture asks who's faster in pads, Velus or Scott?
Scott.
Tyler Scott, to me, Velus is faster. Tyler Scott does more off of the line to utilize his speed. So what I mean is, right, like Velus to me is a guy who set hut, I got to be fast. Tyler Scott to me is a guy who set hut, I'm going to make a move to make you bite on this, and now I'm going to use my speed.
So you're saying
because you've given me a second, so I can turn that into 4 inches of space.
He has better technique.
I think he has better technique.
He has more agility
and route running ability.
As in
I think that's what it is. He talked about when we did the interview with Tyler Scott. He said he had torn his ankle his last season in college. So the evaluation on him was he couldn't get away from press coverage. The evaluation on him was press coverage was going to kill him at this level. They're pressing him. He looks good. He's going up against Jalen Johnson. Tyler Scott. Oh, my God. I'll give you one. He broke down Jalen. I don't even know if we've talked about this really. He broke down Jalen Johnson. Like I'm talking about hit a move. I want to say he ran about 10 yards, hit a slant, did a little fake towards the court, a little double move towards the quarterback, and Jalen bit and took off and was gone. And Jalen hit the ground. I don't know if the pass was completed. I don't remember if the pass was completed, but the route running ability that he has is leaps and bounds to me better than Velus. Velus is a kick returner. Velus is a gadget guy to me that I'm going to be able to hit you with an end around and you can turn that into 60 yards. I'm going to be able to hit you with a double move, right? And you're going to be able to turn that into 60. You know, like I think that's more what Bayless's game is going to be. But he has had a excellent camp to this point. He's been a real positive for me so far.
Y'all want to tackle some preseason real quick? Keep it moving.
Hey, we can get into some preseason, man. We can
Talk
get into
about
some
it, man.
preseason.
Let's talk about it. Let's get some preseasons. The image up there? Uh-oh. This is amazing to me, by the way.
Hey, yeah, we could change the background. I was letting it happen. I was waiting for it to happen.
This
I
is
was waiting
amazing
for it
to
to
me, by
happen.
the
I was
way.
waiting for it to happen.
We working this out.
Sound effects is coming next.
Hey, here's the thing, right? What do we want to see heading into preseason? We got our first preseason game next Saturday. Hall of Fame game is tonight, but our first preseason game next Saturday. What do we want to see heading into preseason? By the way, appreciate you guys for tuning in, man. 61 people in this one. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page. We talk Chicago sports daily on this channel, only channel talk Chicago sports, how Chicago talks. Make sure you stay in tune with us, man. What do we want to see from this team heading into the first preseason
We're
game?
not going to see anything. Maybe a series. Can we just see?
We're gonna see 6 minutes of
can we just
high
get
level
a
play.
nice
That's it.
dink dunk. You know, dink and dunk.
Excuse me?
kinda-
A what?
You heard me.
Wait. I'm gonna let you know. It didn't sound like that initially. I was like,
Hey.
wait a minute.
Dink and a dunk.
Okay, that's not the type of dunk we was looking for. I was
Can
like,
we just see some type of, you know,
Spell it.
some type of
Spell it.
manipulation.
Matriculate. Don't go big words on us now.
Manipulation down the field, boys.
my vocabulary is superfluous to you.
No, I'm not gonna lie to you. I got something that I want to see heading into this. I want to have an answer at the running back position. I want to have an answer on. I believe we know who our lead back is. I do think it's going to be Khalil Herbert, but we haven't seen much of Roschon Johnson. We haven't seen honestly. We haven't seen any of Roschon Johnson because he's been out due to injury. He's been another guy who's been sidelined during the pad periods. He was there pre-pads, but when the pads came on, he wasn't able to go. So maybe something nagging, probably a hamstring. He's been out there fielding passes before practice starts and different stuff like that. So they probably just don't want him to get hit yet because they hitting people out there, boys.
I know.
Noah Sewell's laying mugs out.
What we want to see is
Noah Sewell. Travis Homer must have hit Noah Sewell with a Trayvon Diggs line to Dak Prescott. Because Noah Sewell, I'm talking about Travis Homer caught a pass coming across the middle, went to make a move, and all you heard was, hey.
Noah Sewell, man.
Hey.
Noah Sewell is a
I
problem.
will say this. Here's another thing to
Good
watch
pickup.
for heading into preseason, boys.
What's that?
Noah Sewell might win this job.
That's what
Jack Sanborn has not been there. Jack Sanborn came back for a very short period on the pads and ended up going back out. You know, I got a little dinged up himself again, right? Hopefully it's nothing serious. But Noah Sewell has had a camp. He and Jack Sanborn is not. Here's the thing. Jack Sanborn probably will end up being a more cerebral player than Noah Sewell is. Noah Sewell is a much superior athlete.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I would.
Are we going to be able to quote you on that one?
Oh no, he's a superior athlete. That's not even
Patrick Moranzoni, Pat, the designer of
That's
the
not even the
Bears
Yeah,
podcast.
that's not even the question. He's a superior athlete. Like Jack Sanborn's game isn't athleticism. Jack Sanborn's game is knowledge. And it's not to say he's not an athlete, like he's not athletic, but he's never going to be the most athletic linebacker in your core. He's never going to be the person who's you don't want him. He's not Brian Urlacher, guys. I don't know if y'all know this or not, right? I know we want to make him that. He's the great white hope all of a sudden. He's not Brian Urlacher, but what he is he's a guy who to me could have the knowledge that Brian had, where he's gonna know how to break on a ball, when to break on a ball for his athleticism.
Well, you got to remember that position, whether it was the Tampa 2 or with Urlacher, you have a linebacker that's fast enough to almost play another safety role.
Yeah.
So that's
We're gonna switch this camera.
That's the key.
This camera been on me for a while.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, though, what I was going to say,
Pat just looking like
was
this.
that, what we want to see is the Bears are able to score within, say, 4 or 5, like right down the field. Just one
First drive.
You're going to get a drive. Can we just get down there? How fast can we get to the red zone and then get everybody off the field? That's what we want to see.
There's only 3 preseason games. Remember this. I don't think you're going to see the Bears at all in the first. I don't think you're gonna see any Bear of any credit.
Not against the Titans. I think you're gonna see something against the Bills, though.
I don't think
That being the last
I don't
one.
think you're gonna see him to the third game.
I would say second game. I'm not playing them in the third.
I was gonna say though, I don't. What I want to see is I want to see something executed like to the full extent. If you can give me like a 10, if you can do it in 5 plays like Joel said, go out and score a touchdown, cool. But if you turn around and the only drive you give me that game is a 15-play drive for a TUD or a 10-play drive for a TUD, I know that this offense is moving. I know that this offense is moving in the right direction. Because the only thing that they've been talking about the whole entire camp since we've been there is execution.
Yeah, fam, let's call a spade a spade. We want to see Justin throw this peel. We just want Justin to throw this peel. We want to see him throw this peel and get it some. That's all we really want.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. You're going to see that because that is what the Bears want to see. That is what you're not getting.
We don't want to see a bunch of run plays right now. We know we got a run game. We don't want to see that right now.
We're going to get a series. We want to see him hit. The first is going to be DJ Moore.
We want to see that connection.
Are they here?
I want to say that first game is on the road.
Okay. What we want to see is
because they're here.
We got okay. So the Bills game is on the road then.
For a 5-yard slant in, then they got to hit Claypool, then they got to hit everybody.
Bills game is
here.
And
then they got to hit Komet, and then we're going to hopefully get in the red zone. If not, what is it here? What?
No, yeah, it's here.
Bills is here, and Titans is here.
Oh, Indy is on the road because they're doing the joint practice in Indy.
Okay.
Indy's on the road. Indy's on
the road. Check 1, 2. My mic's on.
Can y'all hear Joel? Joel?
Can you hear me?
Can you hear him? Can you hear Joel?
Someone says Joe's. While we fix that one, let's see some of these comments. Field stats: 3,800 yards, 3,800 yards, 27 touchdowns,
38,000 yards in one season. That's crazy, though.
Hey, listen.
You can't even do that on Madden.
I just want to say this. I don't care about nothing else this preseason. We want to see that connection right there. What does Chase Claypool look like? Because they didn't got a bad rap on him for most of the offseason for some odd reason. We want to see what this DJ Moore connection looks like. We don't really want it. I don't care what Roshan Johnson looks like right now because we do. Don't get me wrong, we do. But like not
one reason only, because I just seen a lot of dudes in the backfield and Khalil Herbert go. Listen, they can't hit Justin now. In a real game, that's somebody chasing Justin off of the back line because Khalil Herbert missed his assignment.
We just want to see the stuff that we haven't seen in years.
You know what?
We've seen run. We knew we had a run game last season. We knew we had a run game with Nagy. Nagy just didn't use it.
Nagy didn't use it at all.
Right? So we wanted to see all the things we didn't see. What is that? That's passing. We want to see competent offense and passing.
You know what I want to see? I'm not going to lie. There's one thing I've seen in training camp that really has excited me, and I want to see if it is going to be the same thing when it comes down to how this team is going to produce on a real field versus a real team.
Steve will say he wants some slants.
That's what slants. Hey, they wasn't taking nothing underneath last year. They wasn't taking nothing underneath last year. No, real talk. Justin Fields got into trouble a couple of times in practice, and the two things that we've seen consistently are safety blankets for Justin.
Right.
DJ Moore, deep, and Cole Kmet underneath. Those have been two safety blankets that Justin Fields has been able to utilize. Robert Tonyan underneath as well. I want to see if that is going to be the case heading into the actual season, or if this is just something that we're seeing him do in training camp. Because remember, last year he wouldn't take the underneath stuff. It was there. And there were certain times where I was like, okay, I get why you didn't take it. There were certain times where it was like, it made no sense for you not to take it.
Dude, no, but you had guys dropping passes. I mean, in the hands. And it's like, what was it? Who was that? What's the brother of the guy from
Pettis? Equinemius.
Yeah.
Same brand.
Like there were certain points where he dropped key passes that we needed. Like he didn't trust his receivers.
Yeah.
What you gonna say, Ringo?
Yeah, I was just I was gonna ask kids. So yesterday I posed the question to Pat and AD. I asked them. I said, what do you think the average amount of points should be for the Bears this season? I said the consensus seems to be 25 to 27.
I'm going to say 21.
Shout out to my boy
21?
Kenzie.
The reason why is because we didn't consistently do it for years.
What?
We haven't consistently been 21 points over. In
Oh.
Justin's tenure, he hasn't been consistently 21 points over. 21 is a safe number.
The whole
No, well,
No,
the
that's
whole from game 6 on, we were 21 points over.
we were
like
putting up
28
points.
No,
points
yeah,
a
Our
that's-
game.
defense was trash.
They put up.
It was like 28 points a game.
It was
All
38
last
on the
season.
Steve
Cowboys.
said we averaged 28 after week 7.
Yeah.
I'm saying 21 because I mean, listen, I don't.
21's not 21. You winning 3 games.
Yeah.
21 points a game. You're winning 3 games a game. You prepare for the draft next year. We can start the draft.
Yeah, we got
looking at the teams that we play though.
to get 3
You're-
touchdowns and a field goal. The thing is back. That was the barometer.
24.
we used
Then
to
I
have.
give you 24. I
The
see
Packers
what
are
you're
probably
saying.
going to be bad.
I
And
see
they'll
what you're
still
saying.
average 24 points a game.
I
We
see
don't
what
know.
you're saying.
I can't. That's the thing to see. What's the Packers going to do? If this dude comes out and becomes the next Aaron Rodgers, it's like, oh crap.
But I think,
Oh, no.
I think
Oh
that's-
no,
Okay.
guys.
I think that's. Guys,
Hold on.
Guys,
1 second.
I
one
told
second.
y'all what I want from Jordan Love, man. I just want Jordan Love to be good enough for them to not get rid of him.
Man, I don't care
No.
what.
And
Jordan
I
Love
love.
does.
Here's the thing that I love that's happening up in Packers land.
Don
is-
Bird, you need to stop hating,
is
dog.
how they're talking about Don Bird's a closet Bears fan. Y'all didn't
Don
know.
Bird is the hate is strong.
Oh, Don Bird. If one, I got to get him his jersey. That's really why he upset. But 2, hey, he lucky I didn't get him his jersey though. He wanted a Jamal Williams joint. But the one thing that I will say is, with Packers fans now, the statements that they're making is we have a good defense, and I think we've got the running game locked up.
Okay.
If Jordan Love can just not mess up,
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna
we
go.
can win.
I'm gonna go. I'm
Sound
gonna
familiar, ladies and
I'm
gentlemen?
gonna change
Sound
that up to
familiar?
26. I have to look at it again. It is more of an offensive game.
It's such
you
an
know,
offensive game, bro.
it's such an offensive game.
Yeah,
Y'all
think
right.
about it. The Panthers lost multiple games, like 28-25. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
Because defense is not, they're not going to, no one's stopping anybody now. They made it so easy for offense to score. So you at least got to get, I think 20, at least 24 at a minimum, 28. But the way, this is the thing. If they are able to just tap into how Fields should be, what he did last year,
yeah,
half the running and then twice the passing in the sense, oh my God.
But that's
he
And
can, if he can extend the play, you do the rollouts.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But now you got guys that you can hit even when the play breaks down. Because I have a feeling that this line is going to be moderately better, not crazy better.
Yeah.
And so now he still has maybe an extra second to throw the ball.
I think that's
And I
where my
think-
sentiment is coming from, though. Like I hate to like harp on this. I'm not concerned about how much we score. It's about how we go about it. How we score is really going to determine our development for our biggest asset, which is our QB. Getting our, how does our line look if he has the opportunity to set those plays up? Having DJ Moore is a plus. It's a luxury. But if you don't have someone to get it to him, it doesn't even matter. So like how we score ultimately is what I'm concerned about, and that's why I came up with that number, because I'm thinking, hey, if we're focusing on the pass game and we're averaging that on a consistent basis, which is
Justin
something
should
we haven't
average-
done, then that's what my thing is.
Justin should average 21 points a game by himself.
That's true. I think
As a star quarterback, you should be able to throw 2 to 3 touchdowns a game, and you should have
Yeah.
a random game in there where you got 6 or 4, whatever. It
Well,
is. Like,
hopefully,
that must be weird.
Like
I was
2
talking about-
passing,
it's
2
funny,
rushing.
dog, because I was talking about this because it's so funny how we talk about the quarterback position now, right? Like think about this: if Justin comes out and has a Lamar Jackson MVP season, Bears fans are going to think that we have the next greatest quarterback that we've ever seen in our lives.
well, we kind of will.
But right, like
That's sad,
no,
bro.
no.
That's sad.
But what I'm saying is,
who's Jim McMahon?
Jay Cutler will have thrown more yards than Justin Fields that have still, right? I think Jay Cutler still holds the record here for 38.
12,000.
No, who throws who threw it?
The what? How many?
Who's got the record right now? It's not Jay.
For what?
Most yards in a Bears uniform.
3,800
Pass.
yards.
It's Jay Cutler.
Is it Jay?
For a
He's
season?
12,000.
Because it was somebody. Who was it? It was Jim.
You talking about all time or
McMahon's
for a
got-
season?
He's up,
No, because there's one where that played early 2000s and he didn't play the last game of the season. If he'd played the last game of the season, he'd have broke 4,000 yards.
Oh, you talking about no. He jeez.
I can't
He
think.
came in, he was hurt, and then Jay
He
Cutler
was hurt.
came in.
Yeah.
He went to the
Baggett?
Jets after
Tyson
us.
Baggett?
He went to the Jets.
No, not McCown.
Oh, not McCown.
Not Josh McCown. No, Josh McCown was never near 4,000 yards.
He was playing half the year though.
He played a good chunk, but he was never there. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Eric Kramer. If Eric Kramer played the last game of the season, he would have been our only 4,000-yard passer. Because I think he was only like 180 yards away from it. He never played. He didn't play it. But
he ripped his shoulder out.
yeah, well, that happened too. People die every day.
1995. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a long time.
Well, you said 2000. That's what threw me off.
Yeah,
That's true.
1995.
I did say 2000s.
You said 90s. I would have had that. Like that.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what's crazy?
Bears running back, 1995.
That man had more completions than Justin had attempts.
It's not right.
Now, I think one
Or
of the-
Cordell Patterson if it's Dick Stockton. He doesn't care.
Cordero
Black guy, it's Cordell Patterson.
Cordero
Patterson was on the Bears for like 5 years after he left because we kept getting Dick Stockton as a freaking announcer. So any black dude with dreads was Cordell Patterson. Cordell Patterson bringing the ball is like, he don't play here no more, Dick.
You don't play.
This is that. But no, at the end of the day, I'll say this. I'll say this, right? It's his name. What are y'all laughing?
Nothing, though.
We're
We're
at the end
professionals.
of the day, I can't wait to call a Bulls Raptors game.
Pause.
Hey,
Can't wait to call a Bulls
Dick
Raptors
for
game.
3.
I already did.
Can't wait to call a Bulls Raptors game.
I already did.
No, but
He said I already did.
I already did. No, but I'm gonna be honest with you. Heading into this season, one thing that I am excited about from this Bears offense is that what we've seen a lot of in training camp, one, the confidence that Justin Fields is exuding, but two, there's a lot of plays, right, that me and J-Mac are sitting there going sack. He got sacked. He'd have been sacked there. He'd have been sacked there. We've watched I think in the mind of people, like Justin Fields becoming a passer means he's got to stay in the pocket.
No.
Justin Fields is going to be a DB's nightmare. And
Oh,
what
wow.
I mean by that is if the wide receivers aren't open, you know what he's going to do? He's just going to slowly start inching his way towards that line of scrimmage. As he slowly starts to inch his way towards that line of scrimmage, you know what decision I got to make? Do I go try to hit that guy who I couldn't miss, or do I stay with this wide receiver here? That is going to be a DB's nightmare. Heading into this season. And so I do believe that the offense of the Bears and how they're going to come out and play is going to be leaps and bounds better. I don't know if Justin Fields is going to be our first 4,000-yard passer, but
I hope so.
I do feel like there hasn't been somebody with a better chance at it than him coming into this, because I think Luke Getsy's when you see this, Luke Getsy's mindset to me is just like, let that mug fly.
And I'm not gonna lie. I going back to Kid's point about the way that they're gonna score. There's looking at this offense, how everybody's talking about it. There's gonna be so many ways for them to score, and it's not just gonna be passing. I think throughout these 17 weeks, you're gonna see a lot of games where, okay, Justin might have a 330-yard passing game. Hey, the next week it might be 25 runs and like 15 passes, and Justin got like seven rushes for like 67 yards with a tut. There's gonna be some games where they're gonna be able to control time of possession to the point like, hey, you may only get 21 points a game, but we held them off enough to the point that, hey, the score be 21-17.
I don't know if the defense is there yet.
Hey, listen.
I think it's heading that way.
But the thing is, they don't, because we were talking about the pass rush, them not having one. There's been times when they've gotten up the middle, but I think that Getsy and Justin would be able to recognize that, like, hey, we got the lead. They haven't really been able to stop us, and you know my saying, if they ain't really been able to stop me doing one thing, I'm gonna keep doing it, especially if it's gonna lead to my defense getting some rest.
Yeah,
I would say this though, guys. You realize that for him to get 4,000 yards, he only has to average
it's like
235 a game.
It's nothing.
235 a game.
It's
in
nothing.
passing.
I think here's the thing: if Justin Fields becomes an average passer, he'll crack 4,000 yards.
That's all it takes.
If Justin Fields becomes an elite passer, don't be surprised if he
Gets 4,500.
45. I was gonna say 48-5.
You have an iconic statement when
because
it comes.
because literally
He's
it's gonna
get
be
tired though.
but there's going to be so many plays that are literally early in the season too. Said Hut, there's DJ. You down there somewhere.
I don't think it's like that. I think
your first 2 games of the season, teams are going to play single high on you. And the one thing that I love that this defense is doing in training camp that's going to help Justin is, I think the first 2 games, right? What the first 2 is Buccaneers and
Chiefs.
Chiefs is game
third
3.
Third game.
Buccaneers and who's our first? Oh, Packers, right? I think they're
number one.
I think they're going to come out playing single high. Justin Fields is going to be able to attack them over the top. The thing that I am seeing this defense do well is they are hiding coverages really, really well. And Justin Fields is going to have to learn how to read those coverages that are hidden and turn into something else.
Right.
He's learning that now. And so I think by the time we get to the season, you're going to have a guy who he's going to be dropping back, looking downfield and being like, okay, I seen that right there.
But like my
Interestingly enough,
going to be able to turn it into something else.
We got Packers
like my man
first.
Kenzie's saying, if the O-line, the O-line is a factor to give him at least some of that time, but it might be the broken down plays from last year, or at least the rollouts. If we can get those sexy design rollout plays, the RPOs and all that stuff, that's, to me, what we're going to see more of. Hopefully they're just getting creative with his athleticism.
Well, I think you'll get those just because here's the thing. We saw a ton of RPO with Aaron Rodgers.
I love this. Oh, yeah.
Ton of RPO
Ton of it. Yeah. I love this comment by Hunt. He says, we won a Super Bowl without a 4,000-yard passer. Let me say this. Pat has a very, very iconic statement when it comes to basketball. He says, you can't continue to play 2005 basketball in today's league. Yeah. But guess what? We can't play 1985 football in 2023. Yeah. In fact, here's the interesting thing. Let's go back to Eric Kramer for a second. You know that year you all talked about Eric Kramer? He had more attempts. He had more completions than Justin had attempts.
That does probably.
I believe it. He
had 350.
He was the free agent, quarterback that he was a good quarterback. We just had a trash defense, and we had no real running.
95.
I think we had
his best receiver that year was that Tommy Waddle still? Was Tommy Waddle still his best receiver? Waddle might have been gone.
Curtis
Enos?
No,
that's a running
USC. Curtis USC. Chat knows. He was the Curtis. What's the name? We've had a couple decent receivers in here.
Actually, this is the best season we've seen.
In the running game, I think we had the ultra back, Raymond Harris or something like that.
The ultra back.
The ultra back. I'm correct. Yeah. Curtis. Man, what's his name?
I'll figure it out.
He was from USC.
The point is, he's technically had the best season in the Bears jersey. If you think about it, it was 3,838 yards, 60% completion rate. 29 touchdowns, 10 INTs.
And by the way,
we haven't seen that really since then.
He did that in the 16.
Thank you, Dave.
Dang, I was thinking. I said that, didn't I? Oh, no, I said Enos. I said Enos.
He was 99.
Yeah.
He said he fell down and tripped. He
down the steps, right?
He got his yard average.
Yeah.
Because he was stepping.
Right, yeah.
He had a better season than Jay Cutler ever had.
He was, I think I think Eric Kramer is still our leading passing yard player.
No. Jay Cutler is the all-time Bears passing leader.
Jay Cutler is an all-time.
We're working on our top 10.
No, all-time. I'm saying for a single season.
Oh, for a season.
He beat him out single season.
I think single season, Eric Kramer.
He beat him out single season in yards and touchdowns.
Oh yeah, I can believe that. Yeah.
But I'm excited about what this Bears season is going to bring because, and this is a weird thing to say, when you see the Bears, they know what they have to fall back on.
Shout out to Samurai J, man. This is a interesting comment, man. This is a Pat comment right there.
You know how to fix P. Will. We got to get him a Baki, huh? A transfusion. What? Why? What? That's such a random comment. Like what?
Hey, that was some anime stuff I knew nothing about. I'm like, that's a
no, yeah. From he talking about old boy from Baki, not Baki in the chat. Baki from the anime with the terrible art style. I hate that art style. But yeah,
you see that? He said, I hate that art style.
No, I hate that.
He didn't even talk about the show. He said, I hate that art style. That's how deep he goes.
Good. The story's pretty good, but I hate the art style. It's terrible. But no, I think that this Bears team coming into preseason, you're not going to see much in preseason. But I think the things that we will see is jobs being won And I think that there's going to be some surprises to people. Remember, we thought Tyreek Stevenson was going to be the number 1 DB next to Jalen Johnson.
Did we?
That's the Bears thought that. They took him in the second round.
Okay, yeah. Sorry.
I mean, you thought he was going to be the number 1. It looks like Terrell Lewis might be.
Well, we will see who's hungry, who's going to actually stand out. I mean, the defensive line, to me, this, like you said, this is going to be a average. The defense is going to go from like bad to okay.
Yeah.
And then we got to see this D line. If the rookies come through and do their thing.
I think the good thing about this D line is they'll be able, from what I've seen, they're still using DB pressure off of the edge. There's some linebacker blitz packages, but the pressure up the middle is for real. Like they're bolstering the middle of their defensive line, which leads me to believe that I'm starting to lean towards they're probably not going to add a pass rusher. Yannick Ngakoue wants to be here. They're probably not going to add a pass rusher unless he comes down on his price by a lot.
I did want to ask a question that's more related to obviously what preseason is ultimately about, and not to put you on the spot, but is there anyone not named that we haven't mentioned that you've seen, you're like, he might make the team, that stood out for you, seeing them in person?
That he might make the team?
I know that's putting you on the spot.
There's nobody that I've been surprised by that might make the team. I think Rasheem Green is somebody who's under talked about. Rasheem Green's been wreaking havoc.
Okay, I haven't heard that name
off of the edge. He's probably somebody who's under talked about. But outside of that, I think that everyone we've talked about, I mean, they should make the team. I think the concern right now might be a guy like Dante Pettis, because I thought Dante Pettis was a shoo-in to make this team, but he just hasn't been out there. He hasn't been healthy. As much as that sucks,
it is what it is.
I can't keep you on a team if you're not out there making plays, and Velus has had a great camp.
Mm-hmm.
So if Velus is having a great camp, Tyler Scott's probably going to be your guy that's going to catch punt returns. Dante Pettis might be on the outs, and I that makes me sad because I love him as a punt returner. He can make something out of nothing. I love him as a punt returner. He's not Cordero Patterson, but he does have braids.
I'm still sick that we let him go and they didn't resign him.
I don't think we'd ever used him that way, though. That's the part that's sad.
He be getting me points in fantasy. I'd be loving that.
Man, you got to pick up a Cordero Patterson, man. Hey, I can't wait for fantasy this year, dog. We got that keeper league, too. My two keeper players that I got last season were
this man was smart.
I drafted Deshaun Watson. I basically tanked last year. I drafted Deshaun Watson 10th overall because everybody in the 10th round and on we could keep. I drafted Deshaun Watson 10th, and I drafted Calvin Ridley in the 11th round.
I gotta find. How do I find out who I drafted? That was a good one. That was a good one.
I literally was like, I didn't like where, like, at the start of the draft, I was at the bottom anyway. I was like, I don't like how this team is going to be built anyway already. I'll try and fix it throughout the season. I think I still made the playoffs. But I was like, yeah, nah, bro.
That's an off-camera conversation. I don't even know how to go back and find them.
I got Garrett
How do
Wilson.
I find?
I think Ken set them all in the whatchamacallit chat. But yeah, man. I'm excited for football. Football's back, and it should be kicking off in like 20 minutes or something like that. So football is almost back, man. Excited to be a part of it. Excited to be here. Can't wait for this season. By the way, if you guys did not know, we're gonna be live calling Bears games here on this channel. So make sure that you're tuned in with us. You're gonna get the energy. You're gonna get the fire. You're gonna get the wrong names, but we will not call them Cordero Patterson.
Cordero.
And also, drop a review on this right here. This is a merch concept that we're thinking about doing here. Go ahead, show that, Joel. Show that. It'll look a little different, right? It'll look a little different. But we got the him, and then we got the him too. Him and him too.
Pat,
Justin Fields.
Pat, why are you rubbing your nipples, dog?
Yeah, I mean, who?
What are you doing, dog?
That's where the him is at. My bad. I thought this was a different show. I thought this was a different show. I thought this was a different show.
Go back to the other thing.
Drop a review on that. You know what I mean? Let me know about the nipple rub, and if y'all want this to be mass produced, man, the shirt, we can do it like this. I'll drop a couple different designs out there, but let us know kind of what you guys feel about this design. We're thinking of dropping this probably second preseason game, if not right before the season. So let us know about that as well, your thoughts. As always, man, it's your boy Pat, the designer, and the squad, Mr. P Kid, the pettiest man alive. Of course, the super producer, Joel Holt, and the man formerly known as Ringo J. Stefan Nadon. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. One love, Bird on. Peace.
This man.